Hey guys, what is up? This is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and welcome back to another new movie review. In today's movie review, I'm going to be doing a movie review on this new horror movie which just came out today. And of course, me and my mom actually went and saw this movie together yesterday. And so, this review is going to be on the new horror movie from the director of Barbarian, one of my all-time favorite horror films of 2022. And this review is on Weapons. Yep, Weapons. So Weapons comes to us from the director of Barbarian, like I just said, and this movie's written and directed by Cregger, and this is his second movie, his second horror film he directed after Barbarian. And which, yeah, for some reason, even after nearly like 3 years, Barbarian still does not have a physical release. Like it's still not available on DVD and Blu-ray. Yeah, because like despite petitions from fans for a physical release of Barbarian, it's still not available on DVD and Blu-ray even after nearly like 3 years since it came out in 2022. Which, yeah, Barbarian deserved a physical media release, and I don't really see the point of not releasing on physical media because it's just not fair when you think about it. But yeah, Cregger is back for another horror movie, and this is his second movie. And so in this movie, we follow, it goes like this: when all but one child, when all but one child from the same classroom mysteriously vanished in the same night at 2:17 in the morning, at exactly the same time, which is, like I said, 2:17, a community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. And throughout the majority of the movie, the movie is set into chapters that are named after that character in the film, like Justine, Archer, Andrew, and Paul. And yeah, so basically like a classroom of kids, like they basically like disappear at 2:17 in the morning, and of course they don't come back. And of course every single of these characters that are set in these different chapters, they're trying to figure out who or what is behind this disappearance. And I'm not going to tell you any further more because it's kind of like with Barbarian where you can basically like go into this movie little like knowing nothing about this film, considering the fact that sometimes trailers do tend to ruin the fun for you. But yeah, so it's kind of almost like Cregger's previous film Barbarian. You could like go into this movie with knowing a little to know what to expect. And yeah, so yeah, when I first saw the trailer to this movie, like when I first heard about this movie coming out, it had me very excited and anticipating this film so much. And I was really looking forward to this since I really enjoyed Barbarian. Despite the fact that I gave Barbarian 4 stars out of 5, but it's still one of my all-time favorite horror films to come out in 2022. So yeah, when this movie was coming out, it had me very excited, and I was just making sure that I get my chance to see this movie, and I did. And of course, and also make sure I don't miss out on it. And I'm glad I didn't. So yeah, so after seeing this movie, I actually thought Weapons. I thought was an awesome horror movie. Not only is this one of my all-time favorite horror films of the year, 2025, but yeah, this is my new favorite horror film of 2025. Yeah, because I used to say it was Sinners, but Sinners is now number 2 for me. Yeah, this Weapons, this is my new favorite horror film of the year. No, this goes in number 1 spot for my favorite horror films of the year. Because I really did like the horror elements that Cregger was bringing us. Like, I gotta say, the horror elements were well done, and I gotta say, and there are some times where it can be a mystery film, although at the same time, this movie did feel like a horror movie. And yeah, it is a horror movie, and I thought the story itself, I thought was well developed, and yeah, and of course it does get pretty scary too. There are a couple jump shocks and jump scares. I mean, there is this like the one jump scare that happens, I think, during like a dream sequence, which wasn't false or anything like that. And I gotta say, like everything about this movie is like a perfect horror movie. And I gotta say, like I said, I enjoyed this movie a lot more than Sinners, even though I still really like Sinners. But I gotta say, Weapons is my number 1 all-time favorite horror film of 2025 for now. Yep. Yeah, I already said that, but and I actually saw that this movie was getting lots of really awesome reviews. Like, this movie's in the 90s on Rotten Tomatoes, and Yeah, at first my mom thought it was good, but she didn't really like the ending all that much. But I'm not going to spoil the ending. But let's just say, guys, I really enjoyed the ending because the ending had a smile on my face because I was smiling through the ending, and of course I'm not going to spoil what happens in the ending because yeah, I really can't spoil it for you guys because it had me smiling, and of course it had me very satisfied, and I gotta admit the ending really paid off in the end. And it's also one of the reasons why this movie is one of my favorite horror films of the 2020s for, well, I mean, you guys already get it at this point. And yeah, and I also remember when this movie was being made, I also remember this movie was supposed to come out next year in January. Like this movie was actually supposed to come out next year in January 2026, but then they decided to like release it in August this year, which I think that works because since that way we won't even have to wait till this movie until this movie comes out next year in January 2026. But it just came out today, and I'm actually glad that they moved it to today, so that worked. And I also remember when this movie was being made at the time when it was supposed to come out next year. Pedro Pascal was actually supposed to be in this movie, but due to but I think due to the 2023 like Hollywood writers and actors strikes at the time, like Pedro Pascal had to like leave the cast because of his busy schedule, and he was also busy working on the Fantastic Four movie as well, Fantastic Four: First Steps. So Zach Cregger, and so the casting directors actually got a new cast to be in this film. And I gotta say, the actors actually do a real good job in this film. I gotta say, the acting is well done. Yeah, Julia Garner from the show Ozark. Like, Julia Garner, I thought was great in the film as Justine. Josh Brolin was actually the one that replaced Pedro Pascal in this film. And I gotta say, Josh Brolin did excellent in this film. Josh Brolin was awesome. Benedict Wong was also good. And of course, Alden Ehrenreich, like the guy who plays Paul in the film, he also played Han Solo in the Solo film as well from 2018. I thought he did good playing Paul, of course. Like, you know, he's like a police officer in the film. And Zach Cregger does a great job directing and writing this film. Yeah. And as for other cast members, I'm not going to spoil who else is in the movie because I want you guys to see this movie for yourself. Because if you love horror movies like me, then I'm not going to spoil a thing because you guys have to see this movie for yourself. And yeah, and plus the movie's also pretty long too. It's like 2 hours and 8 minutes. But since this movie is divided into chapters that are named after that character, it actually made me understand the story very well, and it was well paced too. Yeah, so overall, Weapons was awesome and amazing, and I'm gonna give Weapons 5 out of 5 stars. Yep, a 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved everything about this film. Not a single nitpick, not a single flaw. Weapons was perfect. So yeah, guys, so if you haven't seen Weapons yet, then I say I highly recommend it. And yes, and I know Disney's Freakier Friday just came out today as well. And of course, and just to make sure, just to let you all know, I will be seeing Freakier Friday tomorrow afternoon at 2. So, yeah. Yeah, because I know I will be seeing Freakier Friday. I just thought I'd let you guys know about that. So you guys don't even have to ask me in the comments or in my community tab. But, yeah. But yeah, Weapons, excellent horror movie of the year. And there you have it. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for my movie review on Weapons. Hope you guys liked it, and if you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And also make sure to like this video as well. With that being said, until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying goodbye everybody, and that's about it.